Okay, I know I sound a little tense there, and I was. Sometimes it is hard to, experience other people that just are not seeing, you know, the many other connections, not just the one or two things, like looking at this as just like that's that and that's that. And well, in reality, these things we're looking at, they have thousands of other truths that will connect into them. It's not like this event just started in time and ended in time and it's gone. No, it's connected in time. It's connected to everything else in time. It's connected to the repercussion of where we are now. So you trace the repercussional echo of this negative energy outward to where we are, and you look into it, and then you can see its source from which it came. And then we find out this echo has a common signature. And it's like the old cliche, history repeats itself. So, it's pretty obvious. We know that everything is set to cycles: the solar system, the rhythm of the body, the seasons. And then, of course, these people, of the occult are consistent with worshiping, nature, the planets, things that run on cycles, the moon. Well, it's really not a far stretch. And when you consider that they look like they've taken control of the main forms of power and authority in the whole entire planet right now. So if they got their hands at the wheel, and we're all riding in the back, who's to say that they ain't taking us over the cliff and they got plans to jump out at the last second? Well, the Georgia Guidestones seem to tell a pretty interesting story, at least as it compares to everything else. So, I don't know, I look here at verse 6 underneath, and I see, I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. And I, of course, probably like many of you, and I instantly think to the towers, that are desolate in this country. And then the understanding that this country is considered by many as Babylon. Of course, I know it as commercial Babylon, because Babylon is broken up into two portions: ecclesiastical and commercial. And the sacrifice of what we're about to see happen now is commercial Babylon. But of course, it's interlaced with these believers. And of course, any other free thinkers that will oppose their New World Order. So if we can see that all of this is interrelated, and of course, I really shouldn't have to say, I don't have to say anything about that. You can just look at it yourself. But, wow, as far as like the steps of a program or the symbols and the signs, we can obviously see that somebody is trying to follow this to a T. I'm going to turn here and go to, this is going to be what we're looking at here. We're going to be looking at salt, basically an interpretation of the believers. Matthew 5:13, salt of the earth. Interesting that it's 5:13, considering these cycles that I've already talked about, and of course this 13 Bach tune. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, and to be trodden under foot of men. I wonder from which perspective they're viewing this.